Welcome to lesson 7.6. Today we're going to be calculating the surface area of prisms. Well, you know what a prism is, right? It's got rectangular faces, it's got bases that are of some shape, and today we want to find the area of the surface of these things. So let's dig into this. Here is a box. A mathematical term for this would be rectangular prism, right? Got rectangular faces and it's got a rectangle base. So it's a rectangular prism, and we want to know how much wrapping paper it'll take to cover it, to cover this box. So the first thing I like to do is sort of unfold the prism into a flat 2D surface that we would refer to as a net. So let's do that. Well, we've got to start with one of the faces, and I like to start with the base. And the base is the same as the top, that's the second base, and those are 10 by 8. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that's 10 by 8-ish, one side being a little longer than the other. And there it is. Now I'm going to unfold the front of this shape, and that one, it looks like it's the 8-inch dimension, right? And it's also 6 inches. So we have this 8-inch dimension, right, that matches that part of the box, and we come out 6. So we have this rectangle here for the front. And I labeled those, and we're going to have a back that's congruent to the front, right? It's going to match it perfectly. So I can just copy that, and there it is, the back. And now I have two sides. Here's the side right here, right? And this has a dimension of 10 and then 6. Well, there it is, folded down. The other side is going to be congruent to it. It's kind of hidden in our three-dimensional drawing, but we can fold it down. And now maybe you can envision all those 4 outer rectangles folded up to make an open box. So I need a top, and the top is going to be congruent to the bottom. And there it is. And remember, a rectangular prism has a top, bottom, 2 sides, a front and a back, 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have all 6 sides accounted for. Now, we're looking for congruent sides so that I don't have to calculate this more than necessary. So I'm going to call this shape A. I'm going to call this shape B, and this is congruent here. And the sides I'll call shape C. So it looks like I have 3 different shapes to calculate the area of. So let's start with shape A. Shape A, area of A, is base times height, is 8 times 10, is 80 inches squared. Area of shape B is base times height, is 8 times 6 is 48 inches squared. Area of C is base times height, is 6 times 10 is 60 inches squared. I need 2 of each. So 2 of 80, that's 160. 2 groups of 48 is 96. 2 groups of 60 is 120. I lined it all up so I can add it up. 6, 17, 376. So I get an answer of 376 inches squared. That's my final answer. Notice I drew the net. I labeled the net, including some dimensions. I put my formulas in. I calculated the area of all 3 different kinds of shapes that I had. And then I included the number of each of the shapes that I needed and added them up. So if it's organized, it's not hard. So you should be organized too. Now you may have noticed that basically I doubled each combination of length, width, and height that we had possible. And so there is a formula for it. And in this case, the length and the width and the height might be something like that. And exactly what you call the length of the width doesn't really matter. You can rotate the object. Even the height, honestly, it's convention to call the up and down the height. All right, so I just need to fill this into our formula. And there it is. And working through the calculations, I still get to my same answer of 376 inches squared. Here's one for you to try. They're asking you to use a net and the formula. So you're going to actually solve this one twice to find the surface area of the prism. Now you're like, oh, it's so much work. I don't want to do it. But look at the numbers, 4, 3, 2. You can do this thing. So draw the net, then calculate the surface area from that, and then use the formula. All right, what if we have a cube? Well, a cube, all the faces are congruent, right? So I'll draw the net, though, so we can see what it looks like. Here is the bottom right here, right? And these are the sides that fold up, front, back, left, right. And here's the top. I just need to add that to the whole mix. Just like that, and I get my 6 sides of the cube. The dimension for each side of every single one of those squares is 5/10 of a meter. So I basically have the area of my square, and you could do base height if you wanted. You could do side squared. Whichever way you do it, it's 0 and 5/10 times 0 and 5/10 is 25 hundredths. And the surface area of the whole thing, I have 6 of those, right? 6 areas of the square. So that's 6 times 25 hundredths. I get 1 and 5/10 or 50 hundredths. Now the second part of this asks what formula you could use for this. And if you look at it, I have 6 groups of the area of a square. And the area of a square is just side squared. So I could do 6s squared. That would give me the surface area. That'd be pretty quick. All right, now we have a triangular prism. This is a little more complicated. In this one, you're definitely going to want to draw a net. And again, I would start with the bottom of your net, which is this rectangle here that is 12 by 18. And next, I'm going to fold down the back, which is this rectangle here, this flap here. And it's connected at the long side here, the 18 centimeter side. And it's 9 centimeters in the other dimension. So there that is. And the last thing I'm going to do, well, not the last thing, the last rectangle I'm going to do is I'm going to unfold this ramp part, this diagonal part here. And that one is connected also at the 18 centimeter side on the other side of my bottom. And it's 15 centimeters in the other dimension. All right, now I have the front and the other back, I guess. These 2 triangles, they're going to be next. That's what I'm looking for next. It's the 2 triangles. This triangle, and they're congruent in this triangle. And they're connected to the bottom on the 12 centimeter side. And it looks like their perpendicular line matches the 9. So there's the back sort of thing right here. And then the bottom, and these are each 9. 9, they match. These 2 match. These 2 match. There. So now I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that makes sense from our shape. We have 5 sides. We have shape A, and then this one's different. The yellow one's different, so that'd be B, and green is different yet, so that's C, and it looks like the triangle, of course, is different, so I have 2 of those, 2 Ds. So let's go ahead and calculate this out. So that's it in its glory. So the area, the total area, is area A plus area B plus area C plus 2 area Ds. So that's going to be, cranking through all the numbers, none of it hard, just got to do it. Got 756 centimeters squared. Here's some straight up practice. We have, for the first one is a cube. So I do want you to draw nets for these. You need to practice that. The cube probably is easier to do with a formula, but draw the net, label it, and then if you want to use the formula after you've drawn the net, that's okay. For the second one, looks like a tent, right? It's a triangular prism. Draw the net for sure, label it, and make your calculations. Give it a shot, and we'll talk about it in class. Take care.